I'm Darren from Akshon Esports, and this is Akshon Recap, the show where we cover various ongoing stories within the Overwatch esports community. Despite finding success as the champions of Overwatch Contenders Europe Season 2, new information has revealed Eagle Gaming has actually been struggling to hold itself together and, unfortunately, left its players in a financial mess. On Thursday, Jean-Louis KnOxXx announced via tweet longer his retirement as a professional player. Known for his time as a veteran in the competitive Overwatch scene as a member of the old Rogue roster, Knox recently played on the now defunct Eagle Gaming and used his retirement announcement to bring to light how the organization had not been paying its players for 3 or 4 months leading up to its cease of operations. According to Knox, he first signed a short-term contract with Eagle Gaming in mid-November of 2017 and believed that he would start to work with the org upon his return to France. Quote, "It was explicitly said to me that as soon as I would come back to France, I would sign my employment contract to start my engagement." He added that despite frequent requests, no such employment contract was ever sent his way, but continued to keep playing on with his teammates. It was only later in his tenure with the org that Knox says he learned that Eagle Gaming had never even held the rights to offer this type of fixed-term contract. By December, the player saw the first of what was to become several payment delays. At the time, he was too focused on the preparation of the team for the first season of Contenders to dig deep into the situation beyond asking the management, who had already dodged questions and merely told him to be patient. As the months went on, Knox states that Eagle Gaming's management became increasingly hostile when asked for salary fulfillment and even told him that the players should be grateful that they received any money at all for playing video games in the first place. Big yikes. In retrospect, this should have been more than enough of a reason to leave the team and prevent further player mistreatment, but the players soldiered on as they competed in Contenders. The only thing they could do was trust Eagle management on their word, and when that trust was lost, they hoped that would be eventually resolved, but in the meantime, they continued performing well in Contenders, as hopes of catching the eye of an Overwatch League scout took priority. By July 2018, Eagle Gaming's players were notified that the organization had encountered major financial difficulties because, quote, "some investors were no longer holding their commitments or even had retracted." A month later, Knox says he was informed the organization would be liquidated due to its insurmountable financial struggles and could no longer stay afloat. During this period of distress, the roster went on to win European Overwatch Contenders Season 2 in front of a home crowd. It was only after the victory that Eagle Gaming management announced to the community that it would be releasing its players from the buyout component of their contracts to encourage Overwatch League teams to recruit their players. The organization's president and founder, Xavier Calvi, resigned last week, leaving Eagle Gaming's players in dire straits. "The structure has left the players without contracts and with financial problems. We haven't been paid in 3 to 4 months and have never received our tournament earnings," wrote Knox. Not allowing the organization to get away from how they treated the team, Knox writes that he and his former teammates are currently working with a lawyer to seek justice. "Today, we are 9 players engaged in a legal dispute at the labor courts, and the inactivity of Eagle Gaming has left us no choice but to unilaterally terminate our contracts so that we can go forward with our careers." 5 of Eagle Gaming's former 9-man roster have since been signed to the Copenhagen Flames. Knox, meanwhile, is retiring as a pro player, but ended with a message stating that he may return to the esports industry in some capacity in the future. Quote, "I just regret that my playing career ends on the failure of a French investor, Eagle Gaming, who has ruined the hopes of a team of talented players." This news is both unfortunate and sad, but seeing organizations taking advantage of and failing to pay their employees in esports is not that uncommon, especially in the Tier 2 and Tier 3 Overwatch scenes. There have already been previously several cases on record where management of these organizations have taken advantage of their players through unfair contracts or outright failure to fulfill their responsibilities as an employer because of the lack of oversight from a governing body and there being next to no real consequences as of right now. In Overwatch, notable cases include the failure of Envision Esports and Denial Esports to properly pay their players who have yet to be compensated to this very day. It's becoming more and more clear that this is continuously being an issue in esports. So I turn things to you. What do you think we should do to resolve this? What can we as a community do, or what should we look to for Blizzard as a governing body of the Overwatch esports scene to ensure that players in the Tier 2 scene are actually compensated for their work? As always, let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and share as it really helps out the channel quite a lot. Otherwise, be sure to subscribe and follow us on Twitter if you want to stay up to date with all of our content, and hit that bell to stay notified. This has been Darren from Akshon Esports, and we'll see you in the next one.